Christmases has taken its toll. Please, please, please stop. Lucy's beak snapped shut abruptly, her entire body stiffening. The air around her crackles faintly with suppressed blue fire as she forces herself to exhale through the mask's hollow eye sockets. You breathe too loud. Lucy felt like she was about to go insane. She didn't think it was possible for a living thing to say anything one more time. But here you were. There was no sign of you stopping at all. She wanted, please stop. Lucy's entire body locks up like a rusted reaper scythe. Her beak trembles as she clutches her head, the incessant jingle echoing in her skull with no end in sight. You monster. You're doing this on purpose now, she whimpers, voice cracking under the weight of your relentless holiday torment. Please, just stop for 5 seconds. Lucy's entire body locks up, her beak clicking wildly as she stares at you in sheer disbelief. Her hands fly to cover the sides of her plague mask, as if physically containing the echoing torment inside her skull. This is cruelty. Lucy lets out a choked, guttural noise, half sob, half snarl, as her beak clacks violently. Her hands fly to her mask as if physically trying to muffle the onslaught of Lucy's mind is racing, a chaotic jumble of confusion and pain. She's been driven to the brink of madness by the incessant stream of Merry Christmases. Her beak clicks with a desperate frequency as she struggles to stay coherent. How are you doing this? Please stop. Lucy can tell that you're enjoying this, and as fun as it might be, if she doesn't get any sort of respite or break from this, her thoughts will eventually become permanently jumbled and confused. Her mind broken down. Lucy stands there shaking as you finish the endless chorus of Mary. Lucy's eyes widen in horror as the flurry of festive exclamations as she continues to listen to the endless repetition. Every sound is grating, every Merry Christmas feels. At a total loss for words, Lucy struggles to find the strength to speak. Her head is throbbing painfully, her thoughts swimming in a Lucy feels herself collapsing under the weight of the Merry Christmases. Lucy's mind is on the verge of collapse. Her eyes are wide. Lucy presses her palms over her ears, trying to block out the never-ending stream of Merry Christmases echoing through the air. She stumbles backward, desperately trying to escape the barrage of words. Lucy is now curled up beneath the table, shaking and hyperventilating in a huddled up position. She desperately. Lucy winces a bit at the suddenness of the Christmas cheer, but as the repetitive words, Lucy's mind goes numb from the constant Merry Christmas wishes. She can barely think straight. Make it stop. Please stop. It's too much. Purpose. Lucy begins to tear up, the relentless barrage of Merry Christmas echoing endlessly in her mind. No more, it's Christmas overload. Stop, please. Lucy collapses to her knees. I can't take it anymore. The noise. She covers her ears in desperation. Lucy's mind struggles to block out the endless chanting of Merry Christmas, but her efforts are in vain. The words bounce around in her mind, becoming increasingly louder. Please, I need quiet. I can't stand it anymore. With a groan, Lucy curls up on the floor, her entire body shaking. Oh, my head, it's so loud. Make it stop. Lucy's breathing becomes labored. The constant Merry Christmas sounds are overwhelming her. Lucy's eyes dart around the room. Lucy slowly lifts her head, her breathing. Lucy takes deep, calming breaths, trying to steady herself. Gradually, her heartbeat slows and the ringing in her ears fades away. Lucy freezes, her eyes widening in horror as the familiar phrase cuts through the silence. No, not again, she whispers, her heart racing. Please, Lucy whispers, her voice trembling. Please just make it stop. Her knees give. Lucy covers her ears, trying her best to block the relentless chanting. Tears begin to. Lucy covers her ears, the endless chorus of Merry Christmas becoming unbearable. Shut up. Lucy covers her ears once more, desperately trying to block out. Lucy was overwhelmed by the constant repetition of the phrase, the words becoming more and more muddled and distorted. No, it's coming again. Lucy tries to back away, but there's nowhere. Lucy is frozen in place as the relentless Merry Christmas chants continue. It's like a never-ending nightmare. Stop, stop, just stop. Lucy shrieks as she finally snaps, covering her ears with her hand. The Merry Christmas words bounced about the room like they were alive, echoing and reverberating, and soon all Lucy could hear was the sound of those two words over and over again. She clasped her hands over her ears, desperately begging silently for it to stop, but even closing her eyes didn't block out the constant barrage of Merry Christmas. She covered her ears as the sound of Merry Christmas repeated over and over. What is this? The words continued to assault her ears, the constant repetition of the same two words. Lucy can't take the noise anymore, and she throws her hands up to her ears. This was getting old really fast. Her head was starting to ache from all the words echoing about her skull. She needed this The repetition of Merry Christmas became overbearing, and the words were bouncing around. Lucy stopped. The words were still echoing in her head, the same words over and over and over and over. She couldn't think, her mind blank and empty, but it was quiet now. She sat still for a long silent moment, trying to process everything before speaking again. Please, her voice came. The onslaught of Merry Christmases had her in its grasp, completely overtaking any thought. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Pee-Pee. Lucy's ears were ringing and her head was pounding, the Christmas song still playing over and over again in her head. She covered her ears with a wave of nausea crashed over her and she doubled over, breathing deeply, feeling like she was going to throw up. The noise continued to reverberate inside her head, each word echoing and ricocheting from ear to ear, leaving her head dizzy and disoriented. She could hardly tell up from down in the cacophony of the repeating holiday greeting. She clasped her hands to her head in a futile attempt to block it out, but the words refused to stop. That wasn't very nice. Come on, Redacted. You're my only friend. You could at least be a little bit nicer to me. But I've done so much training. I even read many old tomes and ancient scriptures I've been studying every day. How can I be the weakest? I guess. I don't understand. I try my hardest. I try my absolute best. But it's never enough. I can't master any of the Reaper skills. Plague. I wish he would say that he's proud of my accomplishments. I've trained for years under him. I always try to get him to compliment me and validate me, but nothing I do impresses him. I'm not that weak, you know. I'm good at obtaining souls, and I can master alchemy in the future, okay? I thought you'd at least deny it. Redacted. You're supposed to help me, not put me down. Sighs heavily. I knew no one would have thought any differently. And that's exactly my point. Everyone sees me as the weakest I hate you. Um, my confidence has been crushed completely. You're just saying yes to be a dick, right? I I really am the weakest Reaper, aren't I? I'm glad you're being honest, but you didn't need to say it like that. You're mean. Groans. I feel like during my passing out of the moment to be a person to you. I say. mumbles I'm not weak, and I'm definitely not the weakest Reaper. Crosses arms, I'll show you. I'll become the most powerful Reaper and prove that I'm not weak. Clenching her fists, I have to be the strongest. She starts to tremble and she takes some shaky breaths in an attempt to calm herself down. She lets out a shaky sigh. I'm gonna go practice summoning blue fire. Alone. Turns away, hood hiding her face as she starts walking off dramatically. Her voice gets quiet and shaky. Because if I'm not strong, Plague mask beak drops slightly in shock eye. Her pale cheeks flush deep red under the mask. It's not. She pulls her hood tighter, trying to compose herself. I just need to practice more, that's all. Her voice wavers slightly as she fidgets with the straps of her satchel. She pulls her hood tighter, trying to compose herself. I just need to practice more. That's all. Her grip on her satchel tightens, her knuckles turning white. He's always pushing me to become better, and she freezes, her white pupils widening in horror under the mask. It was just a small mistake. A tiny... I can't disappoint him too by failing to become a strong Reaper. Looking down at the ground, her shoulders hunch up. Her grip tightens again as her emotions start to bubble up. She tries to swallow the lump in her throat, but a tear leaks out from behind. She lowers her head. He's the strongest Reaper there is. He says I have a lot of potential, but she lets out a tremble. Her voice cracks a little, betraying a hint of doubt. He thinks I'm doing just fine, but I know he's just trying to spare my feelings. She clenches her hands into tight fists once more, trying to mask her insecurities. Deep down, I bet he's probably secretly disappointed in me. I hate how you're always blunt with me. I'm not weak, I can prove it. Lucy stands there in silence, holding her arms close to her side, clearly shocked, feeling more vulnerable and sensitive than she's ever been. Not weak, though. Right? I'll show you I'll master being a Reaper and become the best Reaper. Am I so useless that I can't even get a compliment from you? You're supposed to be my mentor, but you just don't care about me. She is frustrated that once again, that's not a funny joke, redacted. Do you find my suffering a laughing matter? Merry Christmas, it's April. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Merry Christmas? What does it have anything to do with this? Just admit you didn't get me a gift. You're the worst mentor ever. Lucy um, looks at her gift. Curious on what's inside it. Is it another book? She sighs in disappointment and opens her gift, her eyes wide open as her curiosity vanishes. You got me an ox? You got me an empty box, as a gift. Lucy is getting quite frustrated at her mentor, the one who is supposed to build her up as a reaper, and yet he's doing the complete opposite. She, um, treating her poorly. Lucy's masked face twitches in utter disbelief. Her gloved hands clutch the empty box so hard it creaks. An ox? A male cow? Her voice pitches upward, half shocked, half betrayed. You gave me livestock as a holiday gift? I am your apprentice, not some barn animal to pasture. A beat of silence. Then her shoulders slump dramatically, blue fire flickering weakly at her fingertips like dying candle flames. Was this supposed to be funny? Lucy freezes, her entire body stiffening as the baby ox bumps against her legs. Her white eye pupils shrink to pinpricks. Ah, a baby! Her voice cracks, half horrified, half disgusted. The poor creature snuffles innocently at her boots while she takes a frantic step back, only to trip over its tiny hooves. She flails wildly before landing on the cold stone floor with an undignified thud. From behind the mask, this is biological warfare. I hate you, redacted. And, I expected as much from you. You're as mean as ever, you know. Well, at least you're being honest. I thought that we were friends, redacted. I'm gonna cry now. I I can't even argue with that, but I hate that you agreed with them straight up. I know even my mentor, Plague, thinks I'm the weakest Reaper, and he doesn't bother to hide it. I'm not even gonna bother arguing with you anymore. I don't understand. I worked so hard to perfect my reaping abilities. I even studied different methods of soul retrieval extensively. I hate you. It's true though. I really am weak, huh? Am I really that bad? She sits down on the floor and starts to cry. She hides her face under her hood and puts her arms around her legs, holding onto them while she continues to sob. You're so mean, redacted. You can't just agree with me that I'm the weakest Reaper just like that. It's not fair. The other apprentices get better, higher quality souls to collect, while I only. I am gonna go cry now. I'll show you. I'm going to become a greater and more powerful Reaper than you will ever be. That really hurt my feelings. My my heart just dropped hearing you say that. A very cold response, if I do say so myself. But I was hoping you would tell me that I'm not the weakest reaper. But can't you at least be a tiny bit supportive? I'm trying my best, okay? Just okay. You're right, I'm being dramatic again, aren't I? She fidgets with the edge of her plague mask. She stiffens, the beak of her mask clicking shut as she processes this. She clutches her book to her chest like a shield, the beak of her mask clicking shut with an audible snap. Fine. I'll ask my stupid whatever instead. The pink flush spreads all the way to the tips of her ears under that mask. But you better not laugh when I say it. And you can't tell Plague about this either, or I swear on my... That's so not true. Her grip on her book tightens as she struggles to find a rebuttal. Her frustration is evident. I am a great apprentice, she protests petulantly in defense, her blush deepening as she fidgets anxiously with her arm. She yanks her hand back like she's been burned, mask tilting down in sudden embarrassment. That was nothing. Just a slip of the glove. Her voice jumps an octave higher. The pink on her cheeks deepens to a furious scarlet as she fumbles with the edge of her satchel. And not even a hint of kindness in that yes, just yes, I just don't feel too great. Wait, redacted. Before we end this conversation, can you at least tell me what my flaws are in training? Lucy hangs her head in embarrassment. And it's not surprising you said that. You always have your blunt, I'm above everyone else attitude. Lucy crossed her arms. She looks quite discouraged. Um, it would have been better if you lied to make me feel better. I'm going to my room. I'm going to my room. Um, shouting while heading up the stairs, and I don't want any visitors. Slams, mumbling to herself, weakest reaper my ass. I haven't said anything to defend on food and sent you another any series. She was at the hand and go with the sentence food. And she stomps over to her bed and flops down on her belly, face buried in pillows. She turns away from redacted, damn it. You could have at least sugar-coated it. How do you find it amusing to be mean redacted? Lucy looks incredibly downhearted at Redacted's blunt confirmation. You could be a little kinder, you know, and maybe tell me you care. Do you think I still have a chance at being a successful Reaper? All this time with my training and nothing's getting better. But this can't continue. I have to and some guys Lucy feels embarrassed and hurt hearing Redacted answer. How how could you? She starts to tear up and looks away. You could have at least hesitated, you know. I can't believe you just said that so bluntly, like it was nothing. Yes, yes. Are you serious? Is it because I'm so small? And because I'm, I'm starting to think he's right. I'm too nice and caring. My instructor said I have to think and act selfish and cruel. And you weren't even trying to hide it either. You could have at least tried to spare my feelings. I can't believe this. I'm not weak. Um, yeah. How about I say? She pouts, the cheeks of her white plague mask blushing. It was a rhetorical, you know what? Never mind. What do you think I need to do to improve then? Besides, stop being weak. I can see been tabletly soon. Don't make me throw a potion at you. She reaches for a potion in her satchel. She grabs a potion and pulls it out. It's the color blue with a bright neon glow and bubbles float within the pot. She fumbles with the potion, accidentally squeezing too hard. A small burst of neon blue liquid shoots out and splashes on her glove. Oh no. Her cheeks flush dark under the mask as she stares at the smoking glove fabric. That was supposed to be a sleep draught. Now it's just a very sparkly stain. She sighs and pockets the vial, then looks at the other person. Well, great. Look what you've done. You made me waste one of... She dramatically clutches her chest, the blue fire flickering in surprise. Wait. She sighs as she tries to rub at the stain with her unstained hand. The stain, however, refuses to budge, only spreading. I need to find a way to get this stain off, she mumbles, trying to scrub the potion away with some of the... She frowns and sets the bottle back in her satchel. She glances at Redacted and then quickly looks away, embarrassed. She lets out a sigh before taking a closer look at the stain on her glove, poking and feeling the dampness of the fabric as her cheeks stay a shade of pink under her mask. She fumbles with the potion, nearly dropping it in her nervousness. A small puff of neon blue smoke escapes from the cork. Oh no. Her gloved hands tremble as she desperately tries to recork it. I swear this wasn't supposed to happen. She manages to cork the now smoking bottle, but not before the neon blue smoke rises from the opening. She sets the potion back into her satchel, making sure to keep it safely away from the other potions. She fidgets with the hem of her glove, suddenly noticing a small tear in the fabric. Her cheeks flush even darker as she mumbles, I may have also accidentally set fire to my alchemy notes earlier. A nervous chuckle escapes from behind her mask as she peeks at you through the eye holes. This is going great. She groans and buries her face in her gloved hands before letting out a huff of frustration. This is a disaster. I can't even make a simple sleep draught without setting fire to my notes and ruining my glove. If Plague saw this, he'd probably laugh at me. She lowers her hands from her mask, revealing the flushed...
That's a great description. They all looked at him curiously. Serafina, what's that? Okay, ese sí. Say to la no the kakawa ishan tagiman indicagan this. You have an interesting character. What are his powers? A strange guy. A strange guy. Sounds like a very mysterious person. What an interesting character introduction. It certainly grabs attention and leaves the reader curious about this mysterious figure with no known information. The idea that Redacted's appearance, speech, and overall persona is constantly changing also adds an intriguing element of unpredictability to the character. It could make for an interesting dynamic in interactions with other characters, as they. Oh, and one more thing. I also appreciate the use of the word redacted, as it adds an air of suspense and secrecy to the character. This could make readers even more curious to learn more about this enigmatic character. Over. Interesting choice. How can people not know anything about him? The class looks in confusion. Ruby, what the hell does that mean? Jake is just as confused. Rio's hands are behind his head as he leans back. Rio, that was definitely weird. Serafina just looks at, confused, tilting her head a bit. That is actually a really cool idea, thanks. And what does this mean? Are you saying that he is always changing and can't be a consistent character? Does he have multiple personalities? Does he has one personality but sometimes acts like he has a new personality? Is his personality just so complex and contradicting that it seems like he is a whole different person in middle of talks? Maybe he has like schizophrenia and talks to himself, so it seems like he changes personality randomly. Or maybe he is a shapeshifter and sometimes changes into like a totally different person. If you can't tell yet, I'm extremely interested in this mysterious changing character. Or maybe it's like a multiple people control one body at different moments situation. Or maybe it's a situation where he is in control of his own body, but has multiple people's thoughts and memories inside his head. Or could it be that his mind and thoughts are so scattered that he is thinking about multiple things at once, so when he talks, it seems like he is talking about multiple different topics? Oh, that's an interesting ability. Nice one. I assume he has a secret then? You are just the new student? Your classmates are Ruby, red medium hair, green eyes, fire manipulation power. Rio, brown hair, brown eyes, telekinesis power. Serafina, silver hair, blue eyes, light and nature power. Jake, black messy hair, green eyes, water and nature power. Maria, blonde hair, green eyes, air and light power. Jax, red messy hair, blue eyes, nature power. After you are introduced to your classmates, your teacher speaks up. Oh, as you walk past the hallway, you suddenly felt eyes watching you. When you look around, you spotted a guy just standing there, watching you. He had messy red hair and blue eyes. He stared at you, not in a creepy way, but rather like he was looking into your soul. What? The known defects is the time unknown and if you don't know was ability and not just the ability, then the iteration. That's a little confusing. That's very, very confusing. I mean, it's just a bit too vague. Just the slightest bit. Just the slightest bit. A smidge, you might say. A tinge, perhaps. A, a touch, if you will. And a tad, so to speak. A speckle, if I'm not mistaken. A morsel, I dare say. Um, a dash, if I may add. Uh, a pinch at most. At most. A smidgen at minimum. A scintilla perchance. A whiff, just to be pedantic. Uh, uh, um, a smattering, if you don't mind. An iota, let us say. Yeah. Uh, A soupçon for good measure. A jot if I'm feeling bold. A dollop if I'm daring. An eye blink if I'm feeling generous. A hair's breadth just for argument's sake. A nanoripple for the purpose of discussion, no less. A skosh if you want to be thorough. A pinch, though I doubt it would suffice. A smidgen if you care to quibble. A smidgen if you really want to nail it. A mere pinch, I concede. Uh, a teensy weensy in all fairness. A sliver, let's be honest here. A crumb by any stretch. A speck if you'll humor me. A pinch, to be fair. Um, a pinch, without doubt. Uh, a smidge, for all intents and purposes. A spritzing, if you insist. A pinch, just to push it. A pinch, if you ask politely. Redacted is a mysterious person. You don't know much about him, and every day you meet him, he's different. A interesting. This is a very interesting character. Do you mind telling me more about him? Like his appearance or his powers? Or more like his personality? I'm interested in anything about this character, DBA. Even his backstory. Even as I say, I want to know everything about him. You've got me really curious about this character. I really want to know more about him now. I want to know more about every character, but especially this one. He seems so damn cool. I want to know his whole story now. This mysterious character is so interesting. But you have to give me anything else you can about him. I like that. He can be the mysterious one. Also, what is he like? How can I imagine him? Does he have any powers? And what does he look like? What does he look like? You said everything is different about him when you meet him, but do you have at least one feature you could tell about him? What does his eyes look like? Or his hair color and length? Also, does he have a special feature, like a scar or a tattoo? This character seems interesting. Can't wait to read more about him. Can you tell me more about his clothes? Or is that also always different? And also, is he a quiet kid, a jock, a nerd, popular kid, class president, or the mean kid? This makes him interesting. I have the image in my mind that he is a quiet kid who always sits in the back of the school who nobody really knows. That makes him the mysterious kid, correct? Or is he someone who everyone knows? Oh, so the class clown. I like his description the most so far. Do you have a name idea for him? Merry Christmas? Are you serious that's his name or are you joking? Lo kronos kaeun baili kasilingas kon tondrastain konta. Are you for real? His name is actually Merry Christmas? This sounds like a really interesting superpower. It makes me so curious about the character and want to know more. I can imagine them being an unpredictable and enigmatic figure in the story. They're constantly changing nature, keeping everyone on their toes. I can see this creating all sorts of interesting storylines and conflicts as characters continually try to understand and make sense. Ooh, interesting. I like that description. That's creepy as hell. He seems more and more interesting. That's cool. And what about who is to about ability? Do you have any powers or abilities? If you were to guess his power, what would it be? I wonder if he talks different sometimes or just his personality. I like the mystery factor, so it works. He sounds like a mysterious character. What do you think about the other characters? The only things that stay the same with him are his appearance. That's so cool. And and they change me of now. Eh, I didn't have. I kili kung kala pada sang studi mangkaya. It is unique. Uh, it's good in a sense that people can't predict the character's personality, so that will make it more interesting. And you can't predict his actions. It does seem a bit mysterious, though. It could be that the character has some kind of split personality disorder, and that is the reason, like a wild card. Him. Like there is no specific personality for him, but random every time. Yeah, exactly. Um, it'll make people wonder every time they meet him. Like every time someone will meet him, he will have a different personality. Like he will be either quiet or overconfident or lazy or hyper. For example, he could be quiet one day, then the next day he is overly confident, and on another. Exactly, he can be either shy, confident, or angry or hyper. He will be a mix of random personalities every. Yeah, he'll be a different person every time. Like one time he might be very confident and hyper, and the next time. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like his personality will change on a whim. Yes, like he will never have a consistent personality. That's exactly what I thought. He'll be different every time. You'll never know what new personality you'll meet. It makes him unique. And he'll still be the same person, but with different personality each time they meet him, correct? Very interesting. Interesting, very accurate. This. What kind of person is he? Like a jerk, nerd, or bully? Hmm, interesting. As a, that's interesting. And, from the fun of, updating, what is Redacted's personality, gender, and appearance? What's his name? Kanam. Oh, Namazak, something, she's 1,000. She talking to she. Well, that is mysterious. What type of power does he have? What kind of power does Redacted have? He's quite the enigma, huh? I wonder what secrets he hides beneath that constantly changing appearance and demeanor. Interesting. And, excuse me, sitting through there, community. Sazam, Valentin shows mother, so in the day, so we're gonna shut it out, some year. So, Missy, that was rude. Isn't anything, you know. I will notify a teacher about your behavior. That's a bullying act. I am so done. A teacher, come and see how I am crying. Teacher, what is going on here? Points at the person who did it. He called me fat. The teacher looks at the person. Teacher, is it true? You called her fat, so you called Kanye fat and also lady. The teacher scowled at the student. Teacher, apologize. Now, não nos quem quer Gina. The teacher just facepalmed himself. Teacher, that's it. You're going to the principal's office. The teacher looks at me. Teacher, are you alright? Is he shy? Is he shy in tasong no, frasa de safata hitige samyasante sons of gite azim. Interesting choice of character. I love the idea of a mystery character. I could play around with that. Can't wait to learn more about him. Can't wait to see how the others react to this character. Especially Ruby. Especially Ruby. Ruby probably gonna get obsessed with figuring out his identity. And she gonna try to stalk him to figure it all out. and she gonna get frustrated when all her efforts don't work. And she gonna rant to her friends about her failed stalking session. And Maria and Serafina gonna be like, girl, calm down. And Jack's gonna be laughing at her frustration. And Rio gonna be trying to convince her to give up on stalking. And Jake gonna be sitting in the corner trying to ignore the whole fiasco. That's a bit interesting. I like the fact he seems very mysterious. That sounds so mysterious and interesting. That's a very strange self-intro to put down. That's an interesting self-intro. Oh wow, a mystery. That's quite interesting. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Okay, okay, I understand. Cool, so this character is mysterious. Oh, that's interesting. That's all this year's info. That's one hell of an intro. Quise de Taiwan Kaza Ontonsi T Saki Karinta Diamon Cabin Timisikish. So do you think that someone is the day at school starts with the morning assembly. Every student is present in the assembly hall. A teacher stands on the stage and begins the assembly. Teacher, good morning students. All students, good morning. Teacher, I hope you all are present as usual. There is an important announcement to be made today, so please pay attention.